Welcome into the video. I'm your tech guy Wayne, and today I'm bringing you part 2 of my Samsung Galaxy S25 for beginners. If you missed our first video, I'll link it on screen right here. In that first video, we went over just how to navigate the phone, how to download apps, and a lot of the basic things you would need to know if you've never used a Samsung phone before. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you check out that one. Again, it'll be linked up there. And this video is part 2. We're going to go over more helpful information for you. We'll show you how to sign into your email accounts. We'll show you how to control the sound settings on the phone, how to set a password, things like that. So make sure you watch the whole video all the way through so you don't miss any important information. And if you get value out of the video, make sure you bump that like button down below. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. Let's go over a little bit more about how to control the sound on the phone. So briefly, just to recap, we talked about swiping down from the top of the screen, swiping to your left, and how you can use this button to quickly toggle between your sound being on, your phone being on vibrate, your phone being on silent, and then turning it back on. We also talked about how this bar here allows you to control the sound of music or a video that's playing. But let's talk a little bit more about how to go a little bit more in depth with the sound. So when you press the volume up or volume down button, it'll bring up this menu and you can tap on the 3 dots that show up on the top of that bar. Now it goes away fast, so let me show you one more time. Volume up, press the 3 dots. This will take you to your shortcut for media, and you'll basically have these options available to you. So first you have your volume controller for the system. That's anything that has to do with the settings or selecting options on screen. Next you have your notification sounds. This is when you get a text message. This will control how loud those sounds are coming through. So if you want it to be louder when you get a text message or lower, you'll control it here. This third one is for the AI assistant. I talked about at the very beginning, when you hold down the power button, it launches the Gemini assistant, and that will actually talk to you, and you can control the sound of the assistant from here. Next, you have your ringtone sound. So this has to do specifically with when a call comes through, how loud the phone is going to ring. And then this has to do with the volume of music or with listening to a video. So those are your main volume bars there. And then this option here, this button takes you to a new feature which is called equalizer. And this will actually allow you to manipulate your audio when you're listening to music even more. So you have a concert hall setting, a Dolby Atmos setting. When you tap on this little, this first button here, you can toggle between having a bass and treble bar or dial that you can kind of dial up and down. And then here you can dial up instruments versus vocals. And when you tap it here, you can control them manually as well with the equalizer. So this is a super cool new feature that just gives you even more control over the sound. Okay, the next thing is this. If you're specifically on a phone call and you're trying to get the volume of the call to be louder, you're going to use the volume control button. The thing is, you have one volume control up and down, but it will change depending on what you're doing. So if you're listening to music, then these 2 buttons will control the volume of the music. If you're on a call and you're just trying to make the call louder or softer, then you'll use the volume control here. So just know that it's dynamic and it's going to adjust depending on the thing you're doing in the moment. Now, when you swipe down from the top of the screen and you swipe to your left, if you hold down on this volume toggle button here, it will take you to the sounds and vibration menu in the settings. And this is where you have even more controls to make more changes. Now, one specific change that most people like to make with their phone is I want to change my ringtone sound. I want a different sound to come on when my phone rings. You can tap on ringtone. And here you'll have a list of quite a few different options to choose from. And you just tap on one. And just by tapping, you can hear the different ones. Basically, once you find one that you like, so for example, I selected this one, it was playing. If you like it, all you have to do is hit the back button and it's going to save whatever song you were on. And now you have a new ringtone sound. Now for notification sounds, right now the default is this sound, but you got a whole list of options. You can simply change it. Maybe you like the ice cubes. Perfect. We hit the back button and we've just changed our ringtone and the sound the phone makes when notifications come through. Now here you have some other options. You can change like the system vibration, vibration intensity. Like you can go crazy with the options here. So I just wanted to show you how to get here. And here you can then play around with the settings to dial in the sound of the phone exactly how you want it to sound. Now, one last recommendation, and I love to turn this on all my phones, vibrate while ringing. So when your phone is ringing, it's also going to vibrate. Sometimes your phone could be in your pocket or in your bag and you don't hear it ring, but you might feel the vibration if this is enabled. All right. So that's a brief rundown of just sounds and how to change just about everything you'll need to do in terms of sound on the phone. Just as a reminder, if you're getting value out of the video, stop and quickly bump that like button down below, and I really appreciate your support. Next, let's go into how to set up your email on the phone, okay? So, swiping up, this will take you to our app drawer, and you're gonna have a folder at the very top. That's your Google folder. If you tap on that folder, you'll find the Gmail app. Now, not everyone has a Gmail. A lot of people have other different email types that they use. So I want to walk you through a few different things. I want to first show you how to sign into your non-Google accounts on the phone. Now, the Gmail app actually will let you sign into non-Gmail email accounts. So first, let's go over how to do that. In the upper right corner, you're going to tap on the little bubble. This color of the bubble will be different depending on the name on your account. But either way, tap on the bubble. At the bottom, you'll see an option that says add another account. And if you've never signed into an account, then this is the first page that you'll see. And these are the different supported email types. So there's Google, which is Gmail, Outlook, Hotmail, Live, Yahoo, Exchange, Office 360, and there's other. So primarily, if any one of these looks familiar, you'll simply tap on it, put in your email address and password, and it'll sign you right in. However, you might have an AOL.com or an @Verizon.net or an SBCglobal.net, and those can be a bit trickier to sign into. So for those, this is the recommendation I have. Hit the home button, swipe up, go back to that Google folder. You're going to then swipe up and go to the Play Store. Remember, the Play Store is where we downloaded apps from earlier. I'm going to show you a trick to find an app that is compatible with any email type. Tap on the search button, tap it again. In the bottom left corner, you're going to tap on the symbols button. And here, look for the @ symbol. So tap on the @ and you'll want to type in everything that comes after the @ in your email address. For example, if you have an SBCglobal.net, type in SBCglobal.net. Okay? If you type this in and then you hit the magnifying glass in the bottom right corner to search, this will give you all the apps that are compatible with that email type. So here, this is showing us the Yahoo Mail app will work, the My AT&T app, Samsung's email app will work as well. So all you need to do is just pick one. Let's pick the Yahoo one and let's hit enable, update. And now I can open that app and I can use that to sign in. So just type in the @ in whatever your email account is, and then it will recommend an app that is compatible with your email type. All right, so that's just a one-off for those of you that don't really use Gmail. Now, let's go back to the Gmail app. Okay, so we're back in the email app, and I just want to give you a quick walkthrough. After your email is set up, this is how you use the app. So the first thing it will take you to is your inbox, and this will show you all of your current emails that have come through. If you want to read an email, it's super easy. You just tap on one. I'm going to tap on this email from Google Fitbit, and I can see this is sort of an advertisement about my Fitbit. So I'm going through it, and I read it. Guess what? If I don't plan on doing anything else with this email, I'm going to hit the trash can at the top here to delete it. It's gone. I'll never have to see it again. Now, you might have multiple emails from Fitbit, and you don't need to open each one to know that you probably don't care about what's in the email. You can tap to the left of the email. There's going to be a little bubble with a letter. You can tap on the bubble and select multiple emails, primarily emails that are trash. You can select multiples, and then you can hit the trash can, and then it will delete those 8 all at one time. So that's a quick way to get rid of emails that you know are junk and you don't need to open. You can also swipe to the right over an email. Now this does what's called archiving. It removes it from your inbox, but the email is still in a folder called archived. So that way, if later you want to go back and find that email, it is somewhere in your email. Whereas when you delete an email, it goes to your trash, and after 30 days, it's automatically deleted. So you decide if something is delete, go to trash, or archive. I may want to look at it later. I know it'll be in the archive section. Now, what if you want to send an email to someone? You tap on the compose button in the bottom right corner. From here, it's going to open up a new email. It'll take you right to the to box, and you'll first put in the email address of the person you want to email. So let's type in H2 Genesis. This is just my dummy email account here. This would be the equivalent of me sending an email to myself. You'll type in the full email address, and then next you can hit next down here. It will take you then to the subject, or you'll tap on subject and you can put hi, whatever you want it to be, and then tap where it says compose email, and then write your message. Hi. Now when you're finished, you'll come to the upper right corner, you'll tap on the little arrow, and that will send off the email. If you want to attach a file to it, a document or a picture, you'll tap on the paperclip, and then you can select what type of file you want to attach. General attachment, insert it from Google Drive, insert a photo. If you just hit attachment, it's going to take you to your folders. And here you can go through your files, go to My Files, and you can then select a document to attach. I'm going to attach this picture we took earlier. Hit done. And now this picture is attached to the email. And then I can hit this button to send it, or I can tap on the 3 dots and I can, do some different things. I can discard it, delete it. I can make it a confidential email, or I can schedule send it, which is I can say, hey, I want to send this email tomorrow at 8 a.m. You'll tap schedule send and tell it exactly when you want it to send. Okay. Now let's hit the send off button, and we've officially sent off an email. So that's a brief rundown of the Gmail app. Now, if you tap on the hamburger menu to the left here, you'll find that you have a couple of folders. Gmail is going to separate your emails based on different categories. So primary, which is them trying to label things that seem the most important. You have a promotions folder, which is it'll take things that are like, they're sort of like advertisements from companies. Like this is a Samsung email about monitors and a newsletter and an advertisement from Apple. So it'll put all those in the promotions folder because they're promotional emails. Then we can go to social, and social is basically emails from like YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Someone left a comment. It'll put all those in one section. And then go to menu again, and then go to updates. And this will categorize emails by maybe an update on an order, or could be tracking information for a package, things like that. These usually pertain to your orders. That's usually what is in there. But the thing is, it's not a perfect science, and sometimes Google gets it wrong. That's why you should check all your folders, not just the primary folder. You can also just bypass all of the sorting that Google does and just go to all inboxes, and then that way it will basically show you all the emails unsorted and unfiltered. Okay, so this wraps up our email section. Let's now move into how to secure your phone. How do I set a passcode? So you have to put in a code or a combination before you can just enter the phone. Right now, when the phone is asleep, all we're doing is double tapping the screen and we're swiping. We're going to change that and require you to put in a PIN code before you get into the phone. This is how you protect your personal information. You're going to swipe down from the top of the screen. I want to point out something. I didn't mention this earlier in the video. When you swipe down, there's two different things the phone is going to do. If you swipe down to the left of the camera, it takes you to your notification panel. If you swipe down to the right of the camera, it takes you to the control panel. So you have to be mindful of this. Left side, notifications, right side, control panel. Okay? If you're trying to get to settings, you'll want to swipe on the right side, and then you'll have the settings button that'll show up right here. Okay? Tap on settings. We're going to go up to lock screen and AOD. Next, we're going to go to screen lock and biometrics. And here, we need to change our screen lock type to a PIN. This is probably the easiest one to start out with. And they're saying the PIN should be at least 6 digits, which is recommended. And you don't want to do like 1 6 times or 1 2 3 4 5 6. You want it to be something that is unique. So I'm going to make it this 010203. Okay. Hit continue and then 010203. Press OK. And now I've just set a lock code for the phone so that anyone can't just pick up the phone and get right into it and look at my personal information. So the next thing it's going to ask you is, how do you want information to show on your phone since you have a passcode? You can have it show a preview of your notifications here. Like, think of what you see on this screen, how you're able to see a preview of these notifications. You can have it be that detailed, or if you're maybe have sensitive things that come through your phone, you'll want to just set it to icons, and this is a little bit safer. So let's set it to icons. Let's hit done. And now if I lock the phone and unlock it, if I try to get into the phone, watch what happens. I'm going to drag my finger up the screen, and it will now prompt me to put in a PIN code. And I'll put in the code, and now we're in the phone. So we've successfully locked our phone with a PIN. And the next thing you'll want to do is now set your fingerprint. So instead of you having to put that code in each time, you can simply just press your finger on the screen and then it will unlock that way. So to do that, the first step is to set the code, and the next step is to program your fingerprint into the phone. We're going to go back to lock screen and AOD. We're going to go into security and privacy now. Swipe up, and where it says screen lock and biometrics, tap here. You'll have to put your code in, and then we can program our fingerprint so that now we can use our fingerprint to unlock the phone. There's a fingerprint sensor in the center of the bottom of the phone here. So we'll need to pick up the phone and simply press down like this, and you'll want to keep pressing and lifting your finger. Your thumb is always the best finger to program, but you can program more than one finger, so don't worry. And every time you lift and place your thumb down, you want to try to slightly move it so that it gets a good read of your thumb. So guess what? We just programmed it. Now, a pro tip is always hit add and program a finger on your other hand. Why is this? Well, what if you spill grease or something on your hands and your hand is greasy? Sometimes it won't interact that great with the fingerprint reader, but your other hand might be clean and might be easy to just unlock. So that's just a pro tip. Always program 2 fingers, 1 from each hand. We're going to hit done. I'm going to lock the phone now, and I'm going to double tap to wake up the screen, take my finger, press down, and now I'm able to unlock the phone. So that is the process to program the fingerprint sensor, and now your phone is secure. It has a PIN code, and it has your fingerprint programmed. And guess what? If the fingerprint sensor ever doesn't work, you can always use that 6-digit code as a backup. Now, if we go back to the settings, you're actually able to program your face as an option too. You would go back to screen lock and biometrics. Obviously put in the right code. And you'll then program the facial recognition. You'll tap on facial recognition, hold the phone up, it'll do a quick scan of your face. And then if you ever want to unlock the phone, you just bring the phone right up to your face and it will unlock with you looking at the phone. I'm not going to program that in the video. It's really self-explanatory. You just need to select facial recognition and follow the on-screen prompts. Okay, we're going to wrap up the video with how to use the camera and what happens when you take a picture. Where do the pictures get saved? We'll go over all that in this section. Tap on the camera. You should have it in the bottom right corner, but if you don't have it there, you'll swipe up and you'll have the camera icon right here. So we're opening up the camera, and notice the camera is blank right now, and that's because currently the phone is looking out of the rear camera and the rear camera is facing the table. So if you want to switch the camera from the rear to the front camera, you tap on this button here, and this will automatically rotate it, and you'll be looking now from the front camera, which is also known as the selfie camera. So at the bottom of the screen here, you'll have your different options, photo. You'll have video. Notice for video, the button changes. It has a red dot in the center, so you'll never get confused with taking a video versus a picture. You also have a more option, which gives you access to some really fun pro modes. You have a night vision, panorama, a food mode. You have a pro mode, an expert raw mode. You have all these cool options here. Now here's the thing. The camera is very smart. So what it's going to do is, whatever you're pointing the phone at, it's going to adjust the settings to give you the best lighting and the best focus possible. So you don't really need to use these extra settings unless you really want to play around with those. Okay? The cool thing is, again, it'll automatically throw you into the night mode when it sees you're recording in a very low light environment. So play around with these at your leisure, but don't feel a stress to have to learn how to use all these modes, because the phone is going to do a lot of the work for you. Now, one of the funnest modes on the phone is the portrait mode. And what portrait does is it takes the subject and it focuses on the subject and it blurs out the background. So if you want that fun effect where you're in full focus and your background is blurred, it's called the bokeh effect. You simply need to switch to the portrait mode, hold the camera up, and then it will make you look nice and pretty and clear, and then it will blur out your background. If you swipe over and go to more and you go to portrait video, you can also have this effect when you're taking a video, and it's pretty cool as well. If you tap on edit, you can actually add some of these shortcuts to the bottom of the camera settings. So I can hold down on portrait video and I can drag it down to the bottom of the screen and I can make it one of my options. Another one you may want to switch is the food mode if you love taking pictures of your meals, and then just tap on save. And now as you swipe across the screen, it switches you between the different modes. Now, another cool shortcut, if you want to switch between the front and the rear camera, you just swipe up the screen and it will switch from the front to the rear. Just a quick swipe up, front to the rear. Now, you can also zoom in by pinching the screen. Now, on the front camera, you can't do a lot of zooming, but you can pinch to zoom in, and then you can do an opposite of a pinch, which is a kind of a spread out to zoom out. If you tap on this button here, it'll bring up a lot of other menu options that are not used as often. That's why they're sort of tucked away, but they're good for you to know about. For example, if you want to turn on your flash because you want a little extra light, you can tap on this lightning arrow, which is the flash. Tap on that. This is flash off, this is automatic flash, and this is a forced flash, meaning the flash will always be on. And here you can change the ratio of the picture. If you want to switch from a 3x4 to a full screen, this gives you a little bit more on screen. And you have a 1:1, which is great for Instagram. And then you have a full screen. So you have a few different options here, and they're just taking advantage of the camera lenses and different things that they can do there. Those are probably the main settings you would use there. There's also a timer right here. So if you want to set a 2-second timer, a 5-second timer, a 10-second timer, you'll simply just tap on the 2, tap the shutter, and it will count down before it takes the picture. We can switch that from 2 to 5. Tap the button again, give it a few seconds, and then you got a 5-second countdown. The last thing is this. I'm gonna switch to the rear camera. Now remember, the phone has 3 different cameras on the back, okay? So you can take pictures up to 50 megapixels using the rear camera. Now when you're on the rear camera, at the top here you'll have a number. It'll say 12M. If you tap on that 12, you can change from 12 megapixels to 50. And all this is essentially doing is it's allowing you to take a much larger picture with more pixels. Now keep in mind, when you take pictures on 50 megapixels, it takes up a lot more storage per picture. So you don't want to take too many pictures at 50 megapixels. I would reserve these for pictures that you plan to print out versus just pictures you might put online. Or maybe you're going to take a nice big family picture or a nice scenic picture and there's a chance that you might print it later. Then I would switch this from 12 megapixel to 50. So that's up to you, not something you need to change all the time. It just depends on the picture you're taking. Now, once you take a picture, where does it save? Well, to the left of the shutter button, you have this button here that will show you the last few pictures that you've taken, which is pretty cool. And here you can make any edits or adjustments. Down here, you can even delete a picture you've just taken if you decide you don't like it. Now let's hit our home button. This is the gallery app. This is where all the pictures save once you take a picture. And if you go to albums, it will organize all the pictures by different categories. This is going to sort all the pictures based on the day that you took them. And if you were to switch to album, in the album view, you can organize the pictures based on other criteria, or you can create your own folders. If I tap on a picture in here, for example, I can tap on this pencil to edit it. I can tap this button to share it and send it out via text message or an email. You also have an AI button here that you can use to make cool edits just using AI. And then here you just have a heart, and that's how you favorite the picture. As you begin to favorite pictures, it's going to move them into a folder called favorites. And just to tell you how my wife does it, she will take a few hundred pictures, she'll quickly scroll through, and she'll just start hearting all the ones that she likes. And then she'll go to the favorites folder, and then she'll narrow down from there what her favorite pictures are. So that's why you would use that heart in the corner there. Alright guys, this brings us to the end of our video. I hope you found it helpful. My goal was to be very comprehensive and try to cover all the things that a new user would need to know. Hit that like button down below if you found the video helpful. Leave me a comment if you have follow-up questions. And if you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos. Here I'll link to another helpful video, and here I'll link to my playlist that will have all the videos that I've shot on the S25 so far. Thanks again for watching. Take care, and as always, have a good one.